Welcome to this short video on the ordering schedule. My name is Craig. I'll be talking you through this ordering schedule tonight and hopefully give you a bit of an idea of what is unique about our approach to the ordering report or schedule. The objective really here, give you a couple of the key features around this and also give you a view of what makes this stand out from an Excel based or whatever other derivative of ordering reporting that you're using at the moment. So let's go ahead and create a new order. Going to select the new order tab over here. I'm going to place an order this time for a small branch, and this small branch over here I can further slice and dice the report by groupings, and this branch over here gets all its stock from a single warehouse as a supplying warehouse. So I'm going to link it across to the central store as the supplying warehouse and create an order against that. Now over the years we've seen a lot of different ordering reports, and there's a couple of key features inside an ordering report that I'm going to point out to you tonight that really make a difference from a management of the ordering report and also help you be far more effective in the placing of the correct order at the right time, which at the end of the day is the fundamental piece that we have to get right in order to optimize our inventory and increase fill rate and reduce excess stock. So one of the key features is a visual type interface, and the visual interface allows you very quickly to get a view on whether the forecast looks reasonable relative to the sales history. Got to remember that when you look at two averages against each other, they may look appropriate, but you're not going to see the spikes and you're not going to see the seasonality on the products that will very clearly be visually displayed in a view like this. So you can see in this example over here a very clear seasonal sort of pattern for this product, whereas the product straight after it, there is no real clear seasonal pattern, and a forecast of 2 or 1 a month against a product that's very sporadic in demand. It's only moved twice in the last year. Probably isn't a great forecast for this item and probably not something I want to order against. So using a visual display of the forecast against the sales history helps you make that conclusion a lot faster than simple averages. Simple averages rely on people understanding and knowing their product exceptionally well and being able to pick up that there's a spike or an anomaly in the demand before placing an order. A visual display like this relies on intuitive nature of people to pick up a lot of those sort of nuances. So if we look at the report, this is the first key feature I wanted to point out, the graphical view of forecast against sales history. The second key thing around this is a running total at the bottom over here. And the running total at the bottom of the screen here gives you a quick view of the implications of the decisions we're making. You know, how many times has somebody gone along and made a quick small rounding addition to an ordering schedule or to an item on an ordering schedule, only to find later that that has a huge implication in terms of cost, and therefore not really the greatest way to actually not really the greatest decision or order that's been placed on that, and the implications are huge financially in terms of that small change. Give you an example here. If I decided to take this 33 and I just decided to quickly round it to, I don't know, let's use 400 as an example, but I also typed a mistake and didn't use 400, I used 4,000. Immediately at the bottom here I can see the implication. We've just gone and added 715,000 to the value of this order. The units have increased substantially, and so too has the volume and weight. Just a key note here, we need to have the volume and weight coming from your system in order for this to be a calculation that we can display on the screen here. But that running total, very useful, very powerful in terms of understanding what are the implications of each of the decisions we're making. You also can sort any of the orders that you're looking at on the screen here, and what I really like doing in this ordering schedule is use the value sequence in descending order of value to assess the decision around the order. It's better to spend your time on the ones that are going to cost you the most so that you make the most informed decision there than it is to try and work through a product list in product code sequence just because you think that's a logical route. And you can see the item we just modified just jumped to the top of the pile here. The next one we've got on the list over here is requiring an order for just over 1,000, and it's quite a huge cost associated with this, yet there is no forecast or no real forecast against the product. So you can see that some sort of additional information here in the form of back orders is causing a huge requirement in terms of an order to be placed. So let's get to the point now that we're trying to economize or decide that we want to fill a container, and in order to try and get the right volume into a truck, into a container for moving across the ocean, we want to try and be as optimizing or as efficient as we can in terms of trying to fill the container. To do this, we've created this little add button over here. So if we have a look at the list here, we've got a certain volume that we're able to deliver against, or that this order makes up, and maybe the container that we're using has capacity for a bit more space over here. So to make the most efficient use of the logistical costs, we might want to increase the items on this order. So most of the times that people have this sort of issue, they just randomly add items into the container in order to fill it. That can have huge implications. You could be adding to your excess. You could really just be using up capacity for the sake of using up capacity and no real value add to the business. The one we like using is this one over here that says select the items from the top-up list. Now the top-up list here are items that are not due for ordering today, but will be coming up in the next week or two for ordering, and therefore are good candidates to pull forward in terms of the ordering, and therefore good use of that extra capacity. So if we have a look at the list over here, it's sorted in a descending order of the top-up quantity that can be added to this list, and at the bottom over here we've got the same running total and summary table that we were looking at on the other screen. We've also got the solve option over here where we can set a certain target, and let's say in terms of this I wanted to get to a certain volume, and the volume that I'm targeting is 10,000 cubic feet or whatever the number is. I hit the solve button over here, and what it does, it goes away and tries to add from this list as much as it can to get me as close as it can to the 10,000 quantity I put in. It got me up to 9,500 from the 9,100. So we added 346 cubic feet to this order, which is not quite at the 10,000 mark, but at least adds from the correct items to the list and makes the most efficient use of the spare capacity that we've got. If I hit the add button, it'll add it to the ordering report on the front end screen here on the main ordering schedule. Now, once we finalized our order, the final piece of this equation is now to hit this download button. Now the download button here will allow this file to be output in a format that's compatible to most of your ERP systems. Just check with us in terms of your specific ERP just to validate that statement. But for most ERP systems, we've created an output format that can be used to import this data in as a purchase requisition or as a purchase order, and then it can take over and flow through the normal process that you have in place in your own specific environment in your ERP. Saves a huge amount of data capture, and it also saves a huge amount of extra time for people to have to capture stuff and mistakes potentially that can creep in at that point in time. So I hope that's given you a bit of a view. The key things here really graphical interface, key tables for summaries, knowing what you're doing and understanding the implications of the decision, as well as then also being able to use a tool to solve some of those problems that you have from a logistic constraints point of view.